All right, a lot of you seem to like my knee pain videos, so that's what today's YouTube video is going to be about. How I fix my knee pain. We're going to get real in depth here, my story behind it, and the solution that I found for my knee pain. So let's get into it. Where my knee pain originated from, I don't know. It could be from the years of basketball that I used to play, jumping up and down. I don't know, but when I started getting into weightlifting around 17 or 18 years old, I was doing more of a powerlifting routine, sets of 5, sets of 3, things like that. That could have made it worse too, just because I had bad form back then, whatever it may have been. But in high school and especially college, I had excruciating knee pain. I did a dirty bulk up to 225 pounds. I got my squat up to 450 pounds. And I was squatting twice a week, and it was like as soon as I got to 450, something changed in my knees, and I literally just couldn't even squat my body weight after that. Not that anything popped, not that anything shifted, not that anything broke, just something changed. Once I hit 450, I took a week break from squatting, tried to get back into it, and I literally couldn't bend down to just do a normal warm-up bodyweight squat. So I just figured, oh, I'm injured. I'll just take a good 3 weeks off of legs. So that's what I did. I didn't hit legs for 3 weeks. I maybe did some calves here and there. And that helped just enough to where I could get through a workout with excruciating pain, but it wasn't so bad that I couldn't work out. And that's what I did for a good year to 2 years until the knee pain eventually just got so bad. I got back to that point where I couldn't even squat down to do a bodyweight squat. So one summer, I went to a physical therapist. I'm not going to name the place. I don't want to bash anybody. But they were just not good. I went in. They made me do all these strength tests. I had to do glute bridges. I had to do air squats. I had to do all types of lunges and pushing movements with my knees. And even though I passed every strength test with flying colors, they would still just make me do strengthening exercises. And my homework was strengthening exercises as well. Every time I went to them, I said, hey, I really don't think it's a strength problem. They're like, no, you just need to keep strengthening this muscle or this muscle. They thought I had all these imbalances, even though every time they tested the imbalance, I would pass the strength test with flying colors. Anyway, long story short, I quit going to them because my knee pain was still there after like 6 to 8 weeks with them, and it didn't have any sign of progress. Fast forward to that winter, this is probably 2022 or 3, something like that. My roommate was a kinesiology major, and he was interning at a physical therapist spa or whatever you want to call that. And he said, no, my guy is really good. At least just give it a try. So I said, fine, I'll give it a try, but it's probably not going to work for me. As soon as I go in there, I tell him that exact story. I tell him the problem, and he goes, oh, no, it's not a strength problem. Looks at me, checks me out, and he's like, no, you just have overly tight muscles. I said, I'll just stretch more. He said, no, you need to do deep stretches every single day, foam rolling, and dry needling. And that's why we're here. He, after 2 weeks of doing this every single day, completely fixed my knees. I'm now barbell squatting once a week. And the only time I have knee pain is when I fall off of doing the stretching or foam rolling. So it's always a reminder for me to do it. But for all of you that are struggling with knee pain, this is going to be the video for you. Obviously, there are other reasons for people to have knee pain other than overly tight muscles, and stretches and foam rolling can't fix that. This video is maybe not for you. But for most people, I think this is the problem. It's just a over tightness, if that's even a word, of your quadricep, your IT band, your hamstring. There's a whole bunch of things that play into it. So I'm going to go over the main stretches that I feel like have provided the most benefit to fixing my knee pain, as well as some foam rolling techniques. And then I did do dry needling on top of this. That did help get rid of the initial tightness. I know that's not accessible to everybody, but that is something else that I did if you want to take this super seriously. So let's get into the stretches. All right, this is the first stretch and a personal favorite of mine. You're going to need some type of ledge or a bench or whatever, and then a pad of some sort for your knee. I'm actually going to get a more comforting pad. All right, all you're gonna do for this is get in somewhat of a lunge position like I am now. You're gonna take one foot, put it on said ledge like so, and from that lunge position, you're just gonna lean on back. Now at first, you may not be able to go this far, like I can get my ass to my heel. I couldn't do that at first. I literally was like here at first. And then over time, slowly, I could start going back, back, back. The big thing with this and with all these lengthening stretches is that you keep your hips forward. That's what's going to lengthen the quad, because it is just a bunch of strings, right? You want to lengthen these strings as much as possible. So push your hips forward, because if I bring my hips in, you can even see like I'm not lengthening that quad as much as I could be on this leg I'm talking about. So bring that hip forward, get a deep stretch. If you want to go even deeper, whichever side has your leg up, lean towards that side with your whole body. You're really going to feel this in your hip flexor, which could also be one of the problems. You could have an overly tight hip flexor. But you're just going to lean like that. It's going to be painful, I'm not going to lie. It's going to hurt like hell. But the more and more you do it, the less painful it'll be. As well as, it's just one of those good pains, you know? It feels good, but it hurts at the same time. Another thing you can do with this, step out a little bit and just lean forward into that stretch. This is going to stretch your hip flexors really hard and your groins. Then lastly, you can go through your leg like so. But yeah, just move around, play with it, find what feels best for you. I'm going to show you the other angle of it so you can see a better view of it. All right, get in that lunge position, put your foot up on the ledge, bend down into it, and then bring your whole body up, hips forward, and you should feel that stretch really in that hip flexor up here, but also all the way down that quad, like so. And like I was saying, whichever side has your foot or your leg up, lean towards that side with your whole body. You might need something to help support you up. You're gonna feel the deepest stretch. Like this hurts so bad in a good way. Right along that hip flexor, which could be one of your problems. It's an overly tight hip flexor. But just lean back, lean forward like I said. Get that deep stretch. So you want to be doing this for about a minute each side every single day for about 2 weeks. Then after the 2 weeks, your knee pain should be subsiding. And you could do a little bit less, maybe 3 to 4 times a week, whatever you feel like you need to do that keeps your knee pain subsided. All right, next stretch. It's gonna be the basic one that everybody knows, but there's a couple tips on how to do this. And it kind of correlates with the first stretch I showed you. So the stretch we're doing, I don't know what you call it, but it's this basic one where you get your foot up, and there's 2 major tricks to this that I didn't know. Maybe everyone else knows, but I didn't know. First one, you can see from this angle. Bring your knee in as close as you possibly can and keep it there. Next one, you can see it from this angle, is once you have that knee in tucked, bring your hips forward and pull this arm up. You should feel an insanely deep stretch down your entire quad doing it this way. I used to always do it like this, like hips were like not forward, this leg would be out, and I would just get like a half-ass stretch. Then when I did it like this, when I first started going to the good physical therapist, this hurt so bad. And I could only do it for like 10 seconds or so. So, I'll show you from this angle now. See if I can do it without falling. But this foot up, bring your knee in, hips forward, pull this leg up, and try to keep this knee in as much as you possibly can. It's hard, but as much as you possibly can. Next stretch, everyone knows this one as well, butterfly stretch. Get down, push your knees back as far as you can. I like to keep readjusting my hands because I know I can keep going even farther. Again, all these stretches should be hurting pretty damn bad, even if you're flexible, because stretching the muscle is gonna hurt. Obviously, don't overstretch where you just rip the muscle in half or a tendon or something. Another problem is you could have an overly tight hip or glute. So this is one of the stretches. This one feels good. Pause. So you're gonna take your leg, and you can do this on the floor, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But I like to do it on a bench. I get a deeper stretch doing that. But you're just gonna take your foot, your entire leg, lay it across a bench, like so. Move that foot back. And for most of you, if you have really tight legs, this is gonna be as far as you can go. Some of you are gonna be able to do more. I've been doing this for a while, so I can do more. I'm still a tight person. Pause. So you can bend down like so and kind of fold over your leg like a pretzel. And same with that first movement. With this movement, just move around. See what feels good. Like when I lean over this side, it's an even deeper stretch. I can lean over here. I get a really deep stretch. Try to sit in this stretch for 30 seconds to a minute. And then when I'm getting up from the stretch, something I like to do too, just to really top it off, if I push this leg forward, this is about as far as I can go, but I get even a deeper stretch when I do that. I'll switch legs now so y'all can see it, but you should be like, I don't know, kind of panting during this. Like you should be getting your heart rate up doing all this. So right there, and then just fold on over. Sit in this position for a minute. Play around with it, lean around. Sit in these positions too. And then do the little cherry on top. That's that stretch. Let me show you how to do it on the floor. All right. Hopefully y'all can see this okay, but so to do this on the floor, and it might be easier if you're really tight to do this on the floor. Oh my gosh, I have no balance. So how I do this, you can do this any way you want to, but how I do it, I start in a lunge position, just bring my foot forward and kind of fall on top of it like so. And then just like the other one, sit down into it, lean to the side. Just make sure that foot is basically as far back as it can go. Show y'all from the other angle. Start out in the lunge position, bring the foot forward over the knee on the other side, and just fall down into it. All right, next is for those hammies. Now, we all know the basic ones like lean over. This one's basic too, but it's my favorite one. All you're gonna do, let me start with this leg. Put your foot up on a bench, a ledge, whatever, and just lean down into it as far as you can. This is about my max. All right, I'm not claiming to be the most flexible guy in the world. But just sit in this stretch for this one at least a minute, because the hamstrings are gonna play into a lot of things. So it's just good to have flexible hamstrings. You can move this arm forward, turn to the side a little bit. This gives me such a deep stretch in the groin. Then lastly, take this foot, turn it outside. Take this foot, turn it down. Bring your hips forward, and then all you're gonna do from now is just lean on down. This gives me the deepest groin stretch ever, and you can squat down too. You might need a little assistance on it, but you can squat down too into it. Crazy stretch in your groin, which for a lot of you is gonna be the main problem. Overly tight hip flexors, overly tight hip glutes, or overly tight groin. Other side, bang, lean down into it, sit in this one. As you can see, I'm not very flexible. That's why I have knee problems, or used to. That's why I gotta stay on top of this. But just sit in these stretches and find what works for you. Like you can see, like I'm holding my leg. This allows me to get a deeper stretch. Find what kind of works for you. Don't forget to stretch those calves as well, but this one's pretty self-explanatory. Just get up on a wall or a ramp or something. And yes, this can play into your knee pain. Calves, quads, glutes, hips, hip flexors, IT band, all that can play. Even your back, lower back can play into knee pain. That's why stretching is so important. And I'll be honest, I thought stretching was stupid until about 22, 21. And I realized, damn, this shit is actually important. Should probably start doing it. All right, last two are something that I really skipped out on doing when I was younger. And now I regret it because I didn't realize how important they are and how beneficial they can be. But it's gonna be foam rolling and rolling in general. Before I get into this, I know that most of you won't have one of these. That's okay. Go to your gym, or maybe you have one at home, get a foam roller, and roll out your quad on the ground. I'm not gonna show you how to do it because that's weird. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Screw it. I can show you with this ball. Damn. Alright, getting real vulnerable for you followers. So you guys better enjoy this. But let's pretend there's a foam roller. All you're going to do to roll out your quad, I like to start out on my side. Alright, I like to start out on my side. And like I said, let's pretend this is a foam roller. You just start on your side, lengthen one side completely out, one leg completely out. And you're just going to roll up and down on that IT band. And this is going to hurt so bad when you first start doing it. Then, to roll your quad, just flip over and do the same thing. All of your quad, make sure you're getting the inside, outside, middle, get that hip flexor, yada, yada, yada. Now, once you do that for a while, eventually, it's kind of not going to be enough. I mean, it is going to be enough to maintain, but if you want to get a deeper fascia rolling, I believe is what it's called, you can get one of these bad boys, one of the hand rollers. And with these things, you can just go to town on your hip flexor, IT band, and your entire quad. And this is what I do just about every single day. It hurts pretty bad. Like if you're going hard enough, it hurts pretty bad. This is not very enjoyable, but this helps my knee pain so freaking much. It's insane. And just like the rolling on the ground, this is the same thing. You're just gonna go all over your quad. Get the IT band, get down right at the knee, get up near your hips, get it all. And you should be going pretty hard. It should hurt pretty bad, but I promise you do that every day for 2 minutes each side. Problem's gonna be fixed real quick, but you gotta stay on top of it. Like I said earlier, my knee pain will come back because I usually would get lazy and quit doing this for a little bit, and then it'll come back and I realize, oh, I gotta get into stretching and foam rolling again. So here we are. Last thing. You need to be rolling out your quads, but also your hamstrings. Rolling out your hamstrings, I feel like is pretty self-explanatory with the ground roller. You can't really do it with this, with the handheld roller. It doesn't really work. Not really. I mean, I guess you can make that work, but the big thing is getting a lacrosse ball, baseball, just a small hard ball. Sitting on a bench, chair just like this, putting it under your hamstring. Let's pretend I have one on there, and just rolling around on it with your hamstring. You'll quickly realize that hurts too. That's a good thing. And that really targets little pockets that are super tight, and you can really rub it out. When you find a little pocket, rub it out for like 30 seconds. Stick on that one spot. Pause. Pause on that one too. But yeah, that is all the stretching and foam rolling techniques for the most part that helped fix. No, last stretch. This one I forgot about. You have to get on a bench or bed or whatever. Where you're gonna have 1 foot on the ground, 1 foot up like this. Super simple. You're just gonna have this foot up. All you're gonna do is take the opposite side, reach across, hold on, and just bend down. You should feel it all like right here on the outside going into your calf and the bottom of your hamstring. That was a big one too. Here's the other side, reach across, bend down, just like so. Big one. Now that should do it. Hopefully I find a younger version of me that has knee pain, or older version of me that has knee pain. And this video will fix your problems. Like I said, do every single stretch, 30 seconds to 2 minutes. If your knees are hurting really bad, lean on the 2 minutes each side for every single stretch. Do that every single day for 2 weeks, and I promise you after the 2 weeks, you should be feeling a lot better. If you really want to kickstart things or kind of speed run through this, go to a PT, get dry needling on top of this, or wherever you can get dry needling. That helped out tremendously. That hurts really bad as well, but it's worth it. And yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. DM me on Instagram with any content ideas. I'll see you on the next one.